Part 31. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 302. Lily just couldn't bear to leave Suyur alone in embarrassment and pitifulness. She had no intention of having anything to do with Suyur. Although Suyur was not very old, she had obviously favored Aaron's side when she appeared. Don't talk about such a woman. Likewise, as a woman, she would not like her and would not marry her. Even the original owner would probably not marry Suyur again under such circumstances. I'll compete. Lily shook her head and took her hand out of Suyur's arms. She was holding on tightly and refused to let go, but with Lily's skill, she still let go of her arm involuntarily. When Kai Lai heard Lily's words, a look of dissatisfaction flashed in her eyes, and she pouted, "Huh, I'm going to sue Uncle He, you didn't come to pick me up. It's just an embroidered pillow, how can you like a loser?" Suyur, when did your taste become so bad? Sufeir had just defeated Suyur, especially because she had lost such a big face in front of everyone. She could almost imagine that the Su family would no longer have Suyur. From now on, she would be the only Su family, and only she could be worthy of being the heir. Although concubine Su didn't like the Su family at all at first, the Su family treated her so poorly. This was something the Su family owed her. Therefore, concubine Su had long decided to get the Su family for the original owner and take away Suyur. Everything of trash. Don't waste my time, Miss Suyur. Lily frowned. She had no good impression of Suyur, but she also disliked concubine Su even more. At this moment, there was a cold look in her eyes, and she immediately regarded concubine Su. The child was stimulated. On the one hand, concubine Su thought Lily was a scumbag. After all, the original Hebai was liked by the two sisters of the Su family. This makes the two sisters jealous. But he never did anything at all. Sufeir had already decided to take revenge on him because she didn't like him, but on the other hand, Sufeir hoped to get Hebai's love and make him love her to the point of going crazy, but she couldn't get it, so that he could taste it. It feels like the original owner Sufeir, but after she came to this future world, the first thing she did was to win over Hebai, the male protagonist, but she made so many dishes that everyone in the future world sought after. Lily doesn't like it. It was useless to be gentle and considerate to her, and she would not accept such a trick if she was coquettish and willful. Sufeir originally thought that she would naturally beg her and stick to her if she ignored her for a period of time. Unexpectedly, her attitude of avoiding Lily did not make Lily miss her much. On the contrary, she did not contact her for 2 years. She had been angry because of this at first. After all, she had given so much. It would be okay if she didn't pay, but she still got no response for her efforts. This inevitably made Sufeir feel embarrassed and resentful, but she also felt a little resentful. Unwilling to give in, if it weren't for the fact that Aaron, who had almost the same reputation as Hebai, fell in love with her and pursued her crazily, making up for concubine Su's embarrassment. I'm afraid she couldn't be so calm when she saw Lily. After Suyur was turned into such a waste by her, Suyur was no longer the one she hated most. Because she no longer looks down on the Su family, she no longer hates the Su family. What she hates most now is Lily, a ruthless and unjust man, especially Lily who dares to be so cold to her. She wanted Lily to fall in love with her and then taste the feeling of being ignored, but now she changed her mind. She wanted to defeat Lily and let the arrogant and ignorant male protagonist in the article lie on her back like a dog. In front of him, he longs for her love, so that he can vent the hatred in her heart. Wasting your time, the corner of Sufeir's mouth raised. She was a little annoyed when she heard Lily's words, and couldn't help but grinned. I know your mental power is level 4, and I am also level 4. Do you dare to challenge me? She had read in the novel that Hebai's strength was at the 4th level of mental power during the Lei Li Star competition. At his age, as soon as it became known that his mental power could reach the 4th level, he became the empire's most important person. His life has been smooth sailing since then, and he is even more valued by the He family. After rising to level 6, he helped Suyur also rise to level 4. The journey was smooth and high-spirited. From the time I read the novel, Concubine Su was originally she also felt that this was very refreshing, but when she became the supporting actress, she felt a little unhappy when she thought about it. Originally, the book said that it is very difficult to upgrade mental power, but for some reason, Sufeir's body should have only had mental power, but it should not be upgraded quickly. But after she got this body, however, her mental power upgraded extremely quickly, and she even reached the 4th level of mental power half a year ago. Although Erin helped to get some crystals that were beneficial to her mental power, it was mostly due to her own suitability for cultivation. The reason for practicing mental strength. The reason why Sufeir dared to challenge Lily so boldly was because she was also at the 4th level of spiritual power. She also had a trump card. She was now at the 2nd level of physical skills. Because she had read the novel and knew that in the second half of the plot, the author had mentioned that because the male protagonist cultivated both physical and mental skills, his mental and physical skills increased very quickly. This is a point in the novel. A secret that was learned later, no one knows it now, including he by himself. Only Concubine Su knows this method, so she took advantage of the hard work 2 years ago to practice physical skills. As expected, except for some at the beginning, apart from the tiredness and pain, the effects will come in the later stages. Physical skills and mental strength complement each other. She has only practiced for more than a year and does not spend a lot of time practicing every day. However, her strength now surpasses Suyur and is even on par with the famous Erin. She is even better than the strength of the male protagonist is still higher. It can be imagined that in 10 years, even if Lily discovers the secret of dual cultivation, she will definitely no longer be her opponent from the beginning. Sufeir is very confident about this. When she thought of this, she looked down on Lily, a useless person. After all, in an era where the importance of force was judged, a man's force could not compare with hers, just like when a strong woman on earth felt that a man's income was far less than hers. With a sense of superiority and disgust, this is how Sufeir felt at this moment. She not only disliked Lily at this moment, but also sighed looking at her extraordinary and handsome face that did not look like a real person. Lily has grown much taller during the past 2 years of practicing at home, and has a temperament that people can't help but be fascinated by. Even Sufeir, who met many celebrities and idols in her previous life, can no longer look down on her. She thinks Lily, who was low in strength, had no choice but to be attracted by Lily's appearance at this time. She felt that Erin, who was originally very outstanding in strength, appearance, and family background, felt like he was being compared after Lily appeared. "Don't you dare to compete with you." Lily saw the look of disgust in Sufeir's eyes, and heard her words again, and couldn't help but feel dumbfounded. Just now, Concubine Su provoked Suyur to say that she wanted to compete with her, and finally humiliated Suyur. Now she thought she was stronger than herself and said the same words as Suyur, just asking for a challenge. The difference is that Suyur's own strength is too weak, and she lost her mind after being stimulated by Sufeir before challenging her. Although Sufeir now has certain strength, she has misjudged herself, so she will end up like Suyur. But at this time, Sufeir obviously had not thought about it that way. She looked confident now, pointing to the crystal ball beside her and said, "Inject spiritual power to see whose color is brighter and longer lasting." The proud look on her face made Erin look fascinated. Suyur proudly took Lily's hand and said loudly, "Brother He, avenge me." Originally, he could have taken this opportunity to defeat the proud concubine Su and make her lose face. However, after having Suyur with low intelligence next to her, he quickly and unconsciously regained the position for concubine Su. As soon as Suyur said these words, Winning would make people think that Lily was unworthy of a man in order to vent her anger for a woman, and if she really only had level 4 mental power like in the plot, she would not be in the middle of level 4 mental power at all, or even Sophair's opponent, who still possesses level 2 physical skills, will really be ruined by Suyur. You can leave. Lily didn't even look at Suyur, and there was no trace of pity in her expression. As soon as she said these words, Suyur was stunned and her face turned red. Seeing Suyur's result, Sophair on the side breathed a sigh of relief. What she was afraid of was that Lily would be like in the original plot. She was attracted by Suyur, the heroine. Since she wanted to get Hebi's love, she naturally couldn't let the male and heroine have any chance of contact. Even if she didn't like Lily at all, she definitely couldn't let Lily fall in love with Suyur. She had to naturally. She cannot let others get the things she gets, even if she doesn't need such things. Did you hear that? You can leave. Concubine Su sneered twice, and said to Suyur, who looked embarrassed and angry, if I tell you to get out, why are you staying here so shamelessly? I really thought he was here to help you. Are you venting your anger? Don't talk until you can beat me. Brother, look at her. When Suyur heard this, she stamped her feet and reached out to grab Lily's arm again. Now that she could no longer get Aaron's love, she couldn't let go of Hebi. But otherwise, if she loses to Concubine Su today, if she is still useless at all, what will Father Su think of her when he returns to the Su family? Although Suyur looks stupid on the surface, she is from the Su family and cannot be as innocent and ignorant as she appears. She was so arrogant before just because she thought her strength was higher than Concubine Su. She didn't take Concubine Su in her eyes, and she was unwilling to fall behind her in everything, so she wanted to be first in everything. Now she couldn't compare to Concubine Su and was sure that her own strength was not as good as hers. Suyur naturally had to find a way out for herself. Originally, Su's father had arranged for her to marry the eldest son of the He family. She used to look down on it, but now naturally, there is no choice. To be continued. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 303. It's better than nothing, especially since Hebi's appearance and figure are very outstanding. It can at least save her a little reputation. In addition, although the He family has been low-key in the past 2 years, the skinny camel is bigger than the horse. As long as she can hold the He family in the palm of her hand, she won't be able to surpass Concubine Su if she doesn't believe it in the future. Lily had no intention of getting involved in the struggle between the two sisters. Anyone with a discerning eye could see the calculation in Suyur's eyes. She just had some pity for Suyur because she was a girl at heart, but this pity does not mean that there is no bottom line. She will not do whatever she wants with Suyur, or even satisfy any of her wishes. Moreover, if Suyur goes too far, Lily can't even guarantee whether she has a man's demeanor, because I want to beat Suyur. I know you very well. Miss Su, please leave and don't hinder me, can you? Lily frowned, with a look of impatience on her face. As soon as she said these words, she saw that Suyur was greatly shocked. Situation. Sophair on the side felt very happy when she heard this. When Lily used to be cold to her, she felt it was a bit unfair. Now seeing that Lily was not hypocritical towards Suyur, Sophair suddenly felt Lily became a little charming. My good sister, Hebi, please leave. Concubine Su glanced at Suyur, who was looking ugly, with some schadenfreude. As soon as she said these words, the people of the Su family felt so embarrassed that they quickly came to the stage and dragged Suyur down. He left, but he looked at Lily a little unkindly before leaving. Okay, now that the eyesore is gone, can we start, according to Sophair's thoughts? She actually thought that Lily had no physical skills. If two people compete in physical skills, Sophair thinks that she must beat Lily, even if her physical skills are only at the second level, but she doesn't want to expose her physical skills at the moment, otherwise it was He-Bai who came up with both physical skills and mental strength, and she is deeply afraid of herself. This action reminded Lily that she still wanted to be able to upgrade her mental power to surpass others in the future. Naturally, there were some secrets that she should keep and she would never expose them at all. Lily made a gesture of invitation, and saw concubine Su smiling strangely at her. Then her body stiffened, and a slight tingling feeling came in her mind. It was not too severe, because she suppressed the discomfort with just a circle of mental power, but Sophair's conspiracy, the person's behavior, made Lily a little angry, and without thinking, she gathered her mental power and responded to Sophair. This kind of attacking others with mental power is a method that Lily has learned after reaching the 6th level. As soon as she finished attacking Sophair, Sophair's face instantly turned ugly, her body shook twice, if it wasn't Aaron next to her who followed. She might have been able to sit down on the ground right then and there. "What did you do to my concubine?" Aaron's face was livid, and he glared at Lily bitterly. Lily ignored him, and just concentrated on pulling her mental power towards the crystal ball. The crystal ball was bright blue at first, and then turned into deep purple. Lily did not use all her strength, but the exposed hand made her Sophair's eyes widened. Level 5. Your mental power is already at level 5? Impossible, impossible, it should be level 4. In the original plot, He-Bai did only have level 4 strength during the competition, but because Lily body technique and mental power were practiced at the same time, it was faster than simply practicing mental power. Not only because the body was expanded. The acceptance of mental power is more stable than that of ordinary bodies. He-Bai's body has received 2 souls. Lily's mental power data value has reached more than 40, so the effect of cooperation is naturally far greater than that of He-Bai. Pure practice is much stronger. Even though Lily has controlled her mental power at this moment, the crystal ball still shows the fact that she is actually at level 5. You lost. Lily glanced at concubine Su. She had just behaved like she was trying to plot against others. Now, after being plotted by Lily, she couldn't even exert any mental strength. At this moment, concubine Su was just like before. Like Su were, she felt embarrassed and a little embarrassed. "What's the point of bullying a woman?" a somewhat calm male voice sounded. Lily did not turn around, but heard concubine Su whisper softly, "Professor Ge." A tall, handsome middle-aged man strode onto the stage. He was wearing a crisply pressed shirt on his upper body and casual trousers on his lower body. He also held a suit in his hand. He glanced at concubine Su with some pity. He stretched out his hand to help Sophair up. He is a famous history professor on Lila Planet. Although he looks young, he is actually over 200 years old. However, for future planet people who have a lifespan of more than 500 years, 200 years old is actually just middle age. That's all. He is also one of Sophair's admirers. Because of his study of history, he has a very high status on Lely Star. It is precisely because of his admiration that Sophair's reputation quickly spread. Lei Lixing, it can be said that Professor Ge was a promoter similar to He-Bai in the early stage of Sophair's development. However, the difference between the two ended in that Professor Ge joined one of Sophair's men, and He-Bai paid everything. In the end, was just a dog in Sophair's eyes. The eldest son of the He family is famous, but I didn't expect it to be more than that. Is it fun to bully a girl who is one level below you? Compete with me. Professor Ge often appears in major news, and Lily has also. I had seen him several times, and now his usually gentle face showed a rare angry look. He was obviously very angry because of the harm done to concubine Su. This Professor Ge possesses early level 6 mental power. He is already very famous. He was not planning to show up in this competition, but because Sophair was coming, he also came over to see her. Concubine was just showing off. Seeing concubine Su being hurt now, she challenged Lily in anger. She originally thought that Lily would refuse. After all, Lily was already young and was not yet an adult. Already having level 5 strength has surprised him. If Lily was not bullying his sweetheart, Professor GE might have praised Lily twice, but at this moment he really couldn't praise her. He waited for Lily to refuse and did the same. Losing face for once, Lily nodded without thinking. In this case, please teach Professor GE. As soon as Lily said these words, not only Professor GE was surprised, but also concubine Sue and Aaron beside her couldn't help but look surprised. Concubine Sue didn't expect that Lily would be different from the situation in the novel. Has reached level 5 mental power, but she knows that although Professor GE works as a civilian and is not a professional warrior, he has level 6 powers. She herself is practicing mental power and knows the powers of different levels. There is some kind of suppression between mental power, just like when she tried to plot against Lily just now, but ended up suffering a loss. If she hadn't been so uncomfortable, she probably wouldn't have felt that Lily had plotted against her. At this time, Professor GE was obviously higher than Lily. In concubine Sue's eyes, Lily dared to accept Professor GE's challenge, which made her a little disdainful. She thought Lily was a man's stupid pride and sneered twice. Don't overestimate your capabilities. I'm not the one who overestimates my abilities. Although Lily didn't want to start a verbal argument with concubine Sue, but when she saw the look of disgust on her face, she felt a little disgusted, so she directly stopped her coldly. Seeing that her face turned green and white, Professor GE on the side also had a very ugly expression, and then he signaled the referee of the competition to bring out a crystal ball that could withstand level 6 power. You have to think clearly. I have level 6 mental power. As the heir of the He family, you should know better than me what will happen if you lose. Professor GE looked at Lily and sneered while staring. He looked at the crystal ball, and soon after he fiddled with it, the inside of the crystal ball began to emit colorful luster, gradually changing from purple to red, then the color became lighter, turned to orange, and finally stopped. There are several types of crystal balls for testing mental power. The minerals of crystal balls at different stages are different, but the same color is the color emitted by the crystal ball. Generally, the color is blue when you first enter the level, and purple when you advance to the intermediate level. Once you reach the intermediate level, it is purple. Those who have reached the later stages of strength are red, those who are at their peak are orange, and those who can advance but have not advanced are gold. And if you want to use the crystal ball beyond a level, when the strength cannot reach that level, even if you use up your mental power, the crystal ball will just glow. At this moment, Professor GE finished testing the crystal ball, and his face was a little bit, he sneered at Lily with a pale smile. It's your turn. As he spoke, the light in the crystal ball quickly dimmed, and finally became transparent. Lily ignored him. Such a cold attitude made many Professor GE's fans a little angry. Whispers and instructions came from some auditoriums. The light and photography cameras broadcast around the world were also pointed at this side. The hair on Lily's face also disappeared. Being clearly captured by the 4-dimensional camera, Professor GE's performance just won a round of applause. Now everyone's attention is naturally focused on the crystal ball in front of Lily. If she can't use the crystal ball this time, if it turns up, not only will she lose her position as the heir to the He family, but it is even more likely that the He family's reputation will plummet because of this. For the He family, this is an extremely unfavorable move. In the special auditorium, He's father stood up nervously. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva and wanted to let someone suppress the matter, but it was obvious that the matter was out of his control at this time. He's father smiled bitterly. His whole body seemed to have lost strength. He could almost imagine how the entire He family would attack him after Lily made a fool of himself. Thousands of members of the He family might pull him down. While Father He was having mixed feelings in his heart, the crystal ball in front of Lily slowly emitted a dazzling light. To be continued. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Cannon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 304. The color changed from red to orange, and then from orange directly to the dazzling golden light. The crystal ball felt like it couldn't bear the power, and cracks appeared on the edge. There was a sudden silence in the field, and the proud smile on Professor Ge's face suddenly froze. He saw the soft click sound of the crystal ball in front of Lily. It was obvious that Lily's strength at this moment was more than what he had imagined. It's only level 5, and it may have exceeded level 6, and its strength is already higher than the average mental power of level 7. You are the one who is not overestimating yourself, Professor Ge, Lily said calmly. When the crystal ball in front of her was about to crack, she controlled her own strength to slowly withdraw her mental power. This hand was skillful in controlling her mental power. The degree of this was shocking again. The audience was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Under the light of the global broadcast, many people only saw the brightness in the crystal ball when the handsome and indifferent young man spoke. The chaos, on the other hand, slowly extinguished, which proved that Lily was still distracted in controlling her mental power while speaking. Not to mention, judging from the brightness of the crystal ball, the heir of the He family had already firmly defeated Ge. Professor, just from this multi-purpose control of mental power, Professor Ge is no longer Lily's opponent at all. The light of the crystal ball dimmed, and the referee reached out excitedly to pick up the crystal ball in front of Lily. He just reached out and touched it, but the crystal ball turned into dust and slowly fell in front of Lily. Bursts of screams suddenly erupted in the auditorium. Many people who were not present couldn't help but scream at the light brain. Some people sitting in the speeding car above their heads who did not appear also followed. He got out of his body and kept taking pictures of Lily with his optical brain. Father He's originally closed eyes opened because of the screams. He hadn't yet understood what was going on. Someone next to me said excitedly, "Young master, your spiritual power has reached level 7. When Father He heard this, he was dumbfounded at first, and then almost screamed. Everyone on the stage who was surrounded by exclamations and screams had different expressions. Concubine Sue's eyes widened and she stared at Lily in disbelief, while Professor Ge's face was ashen and his body was trembling faintly. Got up. He was venting his anger on the beauty today, and only thought that his level 6 strength should have definitely defeated Lily. He never thought that he would lose. He just reminded Lily that if she lost, she might lose her position as the heir to the He family and lose the aura that he should have. That was because he thought he would win. But now he has lost. In front of so many people, he can't even try to cheat. A lot of cold sweat broke out on Professor Ge's back. Lily would lose everything if she lost, and similarly, he would lose a lot if he lost. The fame and status he had spent more than 100 years earning back could be completely lost in an instant. Thinking of that outcome, even if Professor Ge liked this special woman like Sophia, he couldn't help but feel a little regret at this moment. You are at the 7th level, why don't you tell the truth? Professor Ge gritted his teeth with hatred at this moment. He felt a little regretful that he should not have stood up for concubine Sue, but also partly hated Lily for concealing her true strength and refusing to tell him, hurting him. Such a huge loss of face. Telling you? Why, Lily didn't expect that when she was preparing to fight with Professor Ge, the level 6 mental power that had been suppressed so well would break through to level 7 uncontrollably, but she hid it just as she kept a low profile. Now that her true strength was exposed, she didn't feel any nervousness or fear, so she admitted it calmly. Her direct and rude attitude made Professor Ge grit his teeth in anger. He glanced at Lily bitterly, but saw her raising her wrist to summon the speeder to come down, obviously preparing to leave. Don't leave, why did you just walk away after defeating me like this? Before Professor Ge could say anything, Concubine Sue suddenly stood up, pointed at Lily and said angrily, "You just if you want to leave like this and bully the small, are you still not a man?" Lily wanted to reply to her that she was not a man, but when she saw the complicated look on Sophair's face, biting her lip and looking weird, she just glanced at her and left without looking back. In this competition, Sophair's limelight that would have been stolen by Lily was stolen. Although Lily did not appear in the competition again, her unexpected defeat of Professor Ge that day aroused the concern of many people. Notice: her video was recorded and posted that day on the Star. Lily suddenly became a popular candidate for searches, especially when they found out that she was only in her early 20s and not yet an adult. Many people know what it means to be a person with a high level of mental power. Coupled with the fact that Lily had He's own inherent good looks and a high-ranking family background, she became a popular idol among thousands of girls overnight. Many people were discussing Lily's performance that day in the Interstellar. People even leave messages of love to Lily in Star. The Su family brought their 2 daughters to the door again. Sue's father had not been to the He family for a long time, because he had a little daughter who was now famous in Layli Star, and he vaguely wanted to leave the He family. He wanted to develop the Su family into a big family like the He family in the future, so in the past 2 years, he had never visited the house, but now he brought his 2 daughters to the door. He's father was excited. He was so proud that when he called Lily downstairs, Sue's father was leading Suyur and Sophair to sit in front of his father. When he saw Lily, Sue's father's eyes lit up. Sue's father knew very well what it means to be a level 7 spiritual power user in his early 20s. Even the people on Lila planet knew very well. Recently, the Empire Center has sent people to recruit, even if Lily will only reach level 8 in the future. It's just a level 8 superpower, but all these 8th level talents are already very precious to the Empire. After all, a big family like the He family only has one level 8 superpower. Abi has become promising. Brother He you are so enviable when you have a son. Sue's father looked flattering, while his father ignored him. The 2 of them were originally the master and the servant. However, in the past 2 years, the Su family has become more ambitious. Sue's father has not come to the door for a long time. Now when he brought his 2 daughters to the door again, if it weren't for his father's tone to express his feelings, in fact, he would not have come to the door at all. I won't see Sue's father. The marriage between you and Abi that I discussed with you, brother look. After Sue's father finished his sentence, seeing that Lily and his father ignored him, a trace of embarrassment flashed across his face. But quickly asked about the marriage between Suyur and Lily, as if the estrangement between the 2 families had never happened in the past 2 years. Sophair twisted her fingers. She really looked down on Lily before, but now the situation is different. She used to think Lily was just an embroidered pillow and was of no use, but now a handsome and charming man poses for her. In front of her, the key is that this man has the same strength as his appearance, which can't help but make people attracted. Although Sophair is calm, she is also a woman, and she will inevitably admire those who are stronger than herself. People, especially Lily, are so much stronger than her. Although she doesn't know how this situation is different from the novel, at this moment she really has the desire to conquer Lily, not to avenge the original owner. It's just that she hopes to have such a strong man and wants to satisfy her woman's vanity. What kind of marriage, father? He sneered, and directly responded to what Father Su said. I heard that Miss Su once chased the boy from the Allen family for a while, and she likes such a thing. Su is the eldest lady worthy of my son. At that time, his father wanted to book Suyur for Lily, just because Suyur had outstanding talent. But now Lily has already reached level 7 mental power, and Suyur is only at level 3, and is not worthy of Lily at all. Naturally, his father is no longer willing to agree to this marriage, not to mention that the relationship between Sue's father and the He family is no longer as good as in the past. Even before, Father He would no longer agree to this. Brother He, look, although yours mental strength is not as good as the eldest son, I still have a daughter. Although Sue's father was a little unhappy with his father's attitude, he himself didn't look down on Sue now, so naturally he didn't blaming others for being disgusted. He quickly pushed out concubine Sue, who had a cold expression on her face. To be honest with you, brother, this child Fair can rise to the 4th level of spiritual power in just 2 years. This shows her strength. Brother, you think about it? No need. Before father he could say anything, Lily refused directly. The young lady of the Su family and the heir of the Aaron family are a natural match, and they are not suitable for me. Lily now possesses level 7 powers, so she is naturally qualified to speak. When Sue's father heard this, he showed an undisguised look of disappointment on his face. He only sat there for a while and was about to pull Sue away, who was crying and refused to leave. Sue stopped and turned towards her. Lily leaned over and whispered, I have a secret that can make your powers rise faster. If you want the Sue family to marry, I will bring this secret with you as my dowry. There was a look of confidence and pride on her face. She originally thought that Lily would be surprised when she heard this. Concubine Sue was already ready to smile after Lily agreed to marry her, but Lily didn't even look at it. After looking at her, he just took a few steps back in disgust, turned around and went back. Sue clenched her fists tightly, glanced at Lily's departing back with a sullen face, and said bitterly, one day, I will make you kneel in front of me. Unfinished, to be continued. Cannon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 305. The feeling of being rejected is not pleasant, especially after being sought after by a group of men with talent, reputation, and extraordinary status, and then being ignored again. Sue felt a little afraid to accept it, and she decided, I want to avenge today's shame, practice my spiritual powers well after I go back, and let Lily beg to marry her, concubine Sue. But Sue didn't expect that she hadn't waited for this day. Lily's reputation has spread throughout the planet since the competition on Lila Star. Her videos and various materials are played everywhere. While the girls on Lila Star are so fascinated that she seems to have disappeared. Lily started to be locked up in the He family for training again, because in this plot, 10 years later she will become an adult and accept the He family, and at the same time, in that year, Zerg attacks on major planets will occur. Lila Star united with the major planets at that time. In that battle, Sue became a bright pearl among the major planets as a level 8 strongman, laying the foundation for her future career. And because of this, she got to know a level 9 strongman from another planet. After wiping out the Zerg, she killed the level 8 strongman from the He family, then wiped out the He family, drove away He Bai, and finally led a group of beautiful men. They secluded themselves in one of the unknown small planets and became legends. This time Lily didn't want the He family to become a stepping stone for concubine Sue, nor did she want her to destroy the He family, so she had to make herself stronger than her. So Lily spent almost all her time on in terms of training. 10 years passed in a flash, and Lily had reached level 11 in physical skills and level 12 in mental strength. Because of the perfect physical movements. When she practices, she is far more effective than others. Coupled with her hard work, her strength has grown by leaps and bounds in 10 years. And the Zerg attack in the plot finally started. Sue started to move as Lily had imagined. When the artificial intelligence that was staring at Sue heard that she had already launched the spaceship and was about to go to the abandoned spaceship where Lily had obtained the artificial intelligence, Lily knew that she was going to. The idea of artificial intelligence came up. In the plot, He Bai didn't know when concubine Sue got artificial intelligence. If he hadn't accidentally found out about it in the end, He Bai might not even know until his death that concubine Sue had an artificial intelligence that was supposed to belong to her. He is the only artificial intelligence with intelligence in the world. Sue had no idea of this intelligence in the past few years. It should be that she was too weak and would easily encounter danger when she went to that abandoned planet alone, and she didn't want the people of the Su family to take advantage, so she went to that planet now. Fodder already has level 8 mental powers and level 5 physical skills. For you, Master, she is too weak to be worth mentioning. The light brain, which has developed its own intelligence, has been in the interstellar world for many years. Said in a seasoned tone, Master can kill her in seconds. Lily was originally worried that her strength was different from that in the plot, and Fodder was also an anomaly. She is also a time traveler, and her mental power will be stronger than other people at this time. Lily was afraid that her strength would exceed that in the plot in 10 years. At this moment, it seemed that she had hardly changed from the plot. Even if she had changed, she was no match for her, and she was relieved after that. There seems to be only 4 levels difference between level 8 and level 12, but the distance is almost dozens of planets. Fodder is no longer her opponent this time, and Fodder wants to destroy the He family. Naturally it will not happen again. Fodder on the other side didn't know that her whereabouts were under Lily's surveillance. She asked Aaron to prepare a spaceship for her and quietly headed to the abandoned planet. She originally hoped to get the artificial intelligence, and hoped to have it in the future. Help herself to have smooth sailing and start her own business empire. After the Zerg are wiped out, she might be able to buy a planet, but the ideal is beautiful, but the reality is cruel. She is looking for a big planet in the abandoned planet. In half a year, I wasted my time on practicing my mental power and got nothing in return. She was still a little unwilling and wanted to continue searching, but now the situation was very serious. The Zerg had infiltrated into several planets, and she could no longer stay. Although Fodder was confident that she was very strong now, she was not yet confident that she could deal with a large group of overwhelming insects by herself. She had no choice but to return to Lila Star, comforting herself that although I didn't get this artificial intelligence, fortunately, no one in this world can get it again. The war was about to break out, and Fodder originally wanted to find an opportunity to speak out about the Zerg's secret infiltration into the major planets to increase her reputation, but before she could wait for the right time, Lily informed he about the matter. Father. Lily is now strong enough to take charge of the He family. In the past, she didn't want the He family just because she wanted to focus on her own strength, so He's father had been managing the He family. Now she spoke. Naturally, He's father sent people to investigate very carefully. The He family was already extraordinary. After sacrificing several members of the He family, He's father confirmed the matter of the Zerg and knew the seriousness of the matter. He directly reported the matter to Lei Lixing poked it out. Originally, Fodder wanted to make a fortune before this matter started, but while she was still preparing, she saw Father He facing the light brain, telling the entire Lila planet about the Zerg attack. Everyone gave a warning. Fodder's plan naturally failed. She was so depressed that she almost vomited blood. She originally thought that she was the only one who knew about this matter, and no one else would know about it. But for some reason, the He family knew about it and didn't say anything about it, and rushed to the scene first. After the matter was exposed in front of her, her imagined war fortune turned out to be an empty idea due to everyone's preparation. And she originally thought that she could use this incident to achieve her own prestige and build momentum for her future entry into the army, but naturally it became an illusion. Just when concubine Su was feeling extremely depressed, word spread that Lily, the eldest young master of the He family, had reached the 12th level of spiritual power. 10 years after the incident, Lily once again caused a sensation in Lei Star. With the advantage of her young age, her strength is close to that of Lei Lixing, the mentally powerful person who has lived for nearly 1,000 years, at this juncture. The He family has become the hope of everyone on Lila Star, attracting everyone's attention. Fodder originally imagined that she could take advantage of this to rise. Now it is restricted everywhere. In terms of strength, she is no match for Lily, and in terms of actions, the He family is like a person who predicts the future, suppressing her at every step. Whatever she wants to do, the He family will always do it first, and what she wants to say, the He family will always do it first. Will be the first to say it. Even after concubine Sue entered the army according to her own plan, Lily, the heir to the He family, also entered the army. Concubine Sue's aura as a time traveler was almost completely covered up. Especially in the nearly 20 years of confrontation with the Zerg, Lily's mental power has risen to 15 levels. She has become the hope of the human alliance in the war. In this war with the Zerg, she is the main fighting force of mankind, because her mental power with a high level of strength and physical skills, she has almost no opponents wherever she goes, and she uses her mental power to the extreme. Whenever the name He-Bai is mentioned, it always arouses admiration from a group of people. Compared with Lily, those poems and meals about the earth that Sci-Fi created in a small way were directly submerged in the torrent of history, and no one even mentioned them again. After the war, the Zerg race was almost wiped out. When humans celebrated their victory, they built Lily statues everywhere. Sci-Fi also made contributions in this war, but her contribution was not deep. In the past 20 years, the Sci family has been almost wiped out because it has no strong leader and has lost the protective umbrella of the He family. Even though there are still a few people alive, the Sci family has not a climate. Lily has now become a level 15 superpower. Naturally, Sci-Fi, who has just reached level 10 mental power at this moment, does not dare to take any more chances with the He family. After the war, Lily has outstanding strength in the confrontation with the Zerg. Human heroes who have made great contributions are invited to give speeches. This speech will be broadcast almost all over the planet. More than 20 years have passed, and Lily's appearance is now entering her youth. She has lost the raw and almost feminine appearance of He-Bai when she was young, and she has matured and calmed down a lot when Sci-Fi followed her into the place where Lily was going to give a speech. The whole center of the venue was isolated. The boy who was within her reach a few decades ago was now standing tall. Was sitting far away from her. Brother he. Sci-Fi looked at the tall young man with delicate appearance and cold temperament with some fascination. She used to think that He-Bai was a very scumbag, and she thought that Lily's coldness was just pretended. She had always I feel that I don't like people like He-Bai, but after a few decades, anyone who sees a handsome and promising man with a good background, not to mention his current success and fame, and such a powerful man can't help but feel very jealous. Heartbeat. Sci-Fi even regretted that she had not pursued Lily according to her original plan. If she had pursued Lily when she was still close to her, Sci-Fi was sure that she would have succeeded. Mr. He, may I ask if there is any secret to your success? The beautiful female host looked shy when she saw her idol. She also stuttered a little when she spoke. Many viewers who came here looked jealous. Seeing her getting close to her idol, the audience was completely silent. Lily didn't expect any success. In fact, her original wish was just to suppress concubine Sue and save the He family. The reason why she has her current status and reputation is probably inseparable from her strength. She doesn't talk much, but occasionally she can make many people wave silently. However, many people don't want to make a sound and miss her words, so the place has always maintained an eerie silence. I found that the dual training of physical skills and mental strength can play a supporting role in each other. In addition to mental strength, I have always maintained the practice of physical skills over the years. When asked by the female host why when Lily's mental power increased so fast, Lily spoke out her thoughts without hesitation. As soon as she said these words, Sci-Fi's eyes widened immediately. She had always thought that only she knew the secret. Now her mental power has reached level 10, but her physical skills have reached level 9. She originally thought that this was her most unique advantage. She originally thought that even Lily was not capable of this. Knowing that even now she only had the secret that made her feel proud, Lily revealed the fact that she had known the secret for a long time, and revealed the secret that concubine Su had hidden for a long time without hesitation. When she read this part of the novel, Su-faer thought that He-bai was very stupid. She thought that besides pretending to be cool, he was also a bit mentally retarded, and she told all these things in order to appear as a hero. But when the real person saw Lily say such words in a calm tone, and then saw the host's dumbfounded look, and the first ecstatic and then complicated expressions of the people around her, she suddenly found that she didn't understand He-bai, who had been in the male protagonist of the novel, who was despised by her in the novel and then actually appeared in front of her. Now that my mental power has reached level 16, my physical skills have reached level 15. You can give it a try. Of course, success is not just about taking shortcuts. Everything requires hard work. Lily said this. At the end, the venue was quiet at first, and then thunderous applause broke out again. The female host looked at Lily with some confusion. She was a little shy when she first saw Lily, but now she could no longer think of blaspheming her. She even said respectfully, "Practice your mental power alone. It is already very boring and complicated, but Mr. He can also practice physical skills at the same time, so he is indeed a genius." Lily smiled, said nothing more, turned around and left the venue with the female host's respectful farewell. The cheers that erupted in the venue lasted for a long time. The fact that her physical skills were already at level 15 was like a whirlwind that once again swept through Layli Star. The fact that practicing both physical skills and mental power at the same time could increase the results of training caused a wave of shock. After many people tried it, it was confirmed. After this method worked, Lily's name was once again remembered by everyone. Because of the living sign of Lily, the He family was respected and their status was rising. He-bai's original wish was to preserve the He family. Lily not only preserved the He family, she had also brought the He family to a higher level. Outside of the He family, concubine Su had asked to meet Lily several times. She wanted to start over with Lily. She even hated herself for being so proud. If she had married Lily, she would have been married before Lily had developed. "I married him when I was young, and now I am the one who has the reputation and prestige." Not only could she get those reputations and praises, she could even have He-bai. When concubine Su found that her heart, which had been calm for 2 lifetimes, would beat because of Lily, she had already decided to be a woman who bravely pursues her own love. Outside the He family, concubine Su was holding the food she had cooked and was waiting for Lily to summon her. Many of Lily's admirers hidden in the dark were mocking concubine Su bitterly. "Young master, he belongs to the whole world. How could you fall in love with her? He-bai belongs to the whole world and should not be possessed by anyone." It has become a common thought among Lily fans on almost all planets. Su-faer's move to pursue Lily again is like touching the backscale of these fans. Although Su-faer's strength has reached level 10, she is only one person after all. What's more, among Lily's fans, there are people above level 13, let alone level 10. Ever since she announced that she can cultivate both physical and mental skills at the same time. After the training incident, many strong people who had been hidden in the past were grateful to Lily for not hiding her secret thoughts and admired her very much. Su-faer was finally taught a lesson because of the congratulation she had given Lily. Someone spared her life because of the love they had known each other, but there was no trace of her again on Layli Star. Lily lived to be 1500 years old before completing this mission, but the name He-bai has become an existence that can cause shock to the characters in this plot. The 2 wishes of the original owner He-bai are to protect the He family and even change Su. All the glorious endings in the story of Concubine have been achieved. To be continued. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan Erwr. Chapter 306. When Lily returned to the starry sky, she subconsciously touched her breasts. Her breasts, which had been flat for more than 1,000 years, were back. However, after being a man for more than 1,000 years, she was still not used to her sudden change. After becoming a woman and becoming herself again, Lily couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness for the rest of her life. After being a man for so long, she almost thought she was a man. Her information reappeared in the starry sky. Gender, female, variable. Name, Lily. Age, 21. Intelligence, 74, out of 100. Appearance, 75, out of 100. Physical strength, 67, 100 full points. Force, 39, out of 100 points. Spirit, 46, out of 100 points. Reputation, 30, 100 full points. Skills, 9 Yang Manual, 9 Yin Manual, Heaven and Earth Gate Tao Te Ching, Southern Gu Technique, Star Body Training Technique. Specialties, Intermediate Cooking Skills, Advanced Acting Skills, 5 Elements and Bagua Skills, Slight Dabbling. Charisma, 50, out of 100. Collection, Corpse King's Love, Saint's Blessing, Angel's Heart, Dragon King's Promise, Fox's Charm, Mother's Love Like a Mountain, The Uncrowned King. Lily turned into a man this time. Although she was very unaccustomed to it, she originally thought that her mission this time should be rich in rewards, but she did not expect that it would be so rich. Except for intelligence and other attribute values, almost every attribute value was increased by 2. After clicking, reputation, mental power and charm increased the most, especially charm, which increased directly from 41 to 50. In addition to the excellent reputation of the target of her mission this time, it should also be possible because he by himself gave the reason for her reward. It's a pity that Li Yangzi is not here. Many questions remain unanswered. It was up to her to guess. There is actually a star training technique among the skills, which makes Lily a little excited. She can feel the benefits of the star training technique this time. Sometimes when used well, it is actually better than the 9 Yang Manual. There is also a name for the uncrowned king in the collection, which is as strong as a mother's love. Lily doesn't know what the use of this collection is. She missed Li Yangzi even more now, but before she could take a breath, the plain voice of transmitting the mission in the starry sky rang again. In her daze, Lily heard a somewhat indifferent male voice, "Lily Zhang, are you happy now?" Lily instinctively felt a dull pain in her heart, and soon regained consciousness. Episodes of plots were crowded into her mind, but it must be because her mental strength was now increasing day by day. She felt a little dizzy with bursts of stinging pain in her head. It was not as uncomfortable as before, which made people want to pass out. Good. While she was receiving the plot, a man said something disgustingly in her ear. Lily didn't have time to pay attention to him. She only felt herself being picked up by someone. After a vibration underneath her body, she seemed to be thrown somewhere. Then there was a bang of the door closing, and the footsteps slowly faded away. About 2 hours later, all the plots and memories were sent to Lily's mind. Lily opened her eyes, her head was still a little swollen and painful. She rubbed her head and sat up. It was pitch dark all around. This time she entered into a story of love between children and became a girl named Lily Zhang. Lily Zhang grew up with Lu Yanan and Ji Yunrui. The 3 people have similar family backgrounds. Lily Zhang has been beautiful and well behaved since she was a child, so the adults of the Lu family and the Ji family like her very much. When they were young, they joked that they would make their own family grow up when they grow up. Jokes like her son marrying her as his daughter-in-law. The Lu family and the Ji family are both well-known families in China. The Lu family has good vision. When the entertainment industry was just emerging, they established an entertainment company. From publishing novels to remaking TV series, they established a brokerage company. At this time, it can be said to be the leader in the entertainment industry. The Ji family is a scholarly family. Ji Yunrui's father is a well-known and authoritative doctor in China, and he manages the most famous hospital in the Chinese imperial capital. Liu Yanan and Ji Yunrui have been two completely different types of people since they were young. Liu Yanan has an extroverted personality and a sweet mouth. Perhaps he has inherited the businessman-like nature of his father. Almost everyone he knows has a very good impression of him. Lily Zhang has also liked him the most since she was a child. It's a pity that Liu Yanan has always regarded her as her sister. Until she grew up and became sensible, Liu Yanan has a romantic personality and knows that Lily Zhang likes her himself, but never responded. Ji Yunrui has been in love with Lily Zhang since he was a child. When he grew up, he joined the entertainment industry because of his own ideals and became a well-known idol singer in the entertainment industry. The plot revolves around three people. Lily Zhang likes Liu Yanan but cannot get her. Liu Yanan knows her feelings well but treats her aloof, with a little warmth and ambiguity, but he is also romantic by nature. Ji Yunrui, on the other hand, likes Lily Zhang. It can be seen that she has no self at all in her heart, and she feels a little painful. When the relationship between the three of them is awkward, an ordinary poor girl who lost her parents when she was a child accidentally becomes a friend because of being betrayed by her friends. Met Liu Yanan and Ji Yunrui. She is enthusiastic and cheerful, lively and kind, blowing into Ji Yunrui's heart like a fresh wind. When Ji Yunrui couldn't get Lily Jiang's love and was in pain, he became happy friends with this kind and lively girl. With her comfort, Ji Yunrui quickly gave up his unrequited love for Lily Zhang, and unknowingly, there was a sinister plot. He fell in love with her by mistake, and also fell in love with her, Liu Yanan, whom Zhang Bei he dreamed of. He was also attracted by this innocent and kind girl, and changed his previous romantic nature for this girl. And after Lily Zhang didn't love her back, and the one who loved her also turned to the arms of others, she finally felt a little resentful in her heart. She turned around and started to want Ji Yunrui's love, and did a lot of provocations against Ji Yunrui. The incident with a girl named Tang Engzi plunged the two into endless pain. But her conspiracy did not succeed, because in the end Ji Yunrui finally discovered that his true love was Tang Engzi, and when he no longer loved Lily Zhang, he decisively went back to find his lover. After the truth of the matter was revealed, Lily Zhang was attacked by everyone. The people of the Liu family looked down upon her, and the people of the Ji family thought she was too insidious. She had always loved Liu Yanan, who thought she was too scheming. Ji Yunrui, who loved her deeply in the past, also hated her and said that from now on never want to see her again. Because Ji Yunrui is very famous in the entertainment industry, his love history and some emotional experiences were published in newspaper entertainment news. Zhang Bei he became a vicious woman who was shouted at by everyone. She was intimidated and threatened by Ji Yunrui's fans, and finally had to be alone. He left China alone and went abroad, and died in depression. Lily couldn't help but twitching at the corner of her mouth after receiving this plot. The love thing really gave her a headache. The four-cornered love relationship in this mission also made her feel quite troublesome. There is only one clearest wish of Lily Zhang, that is, she must not be driven out of China in embarrassment and die alone abroad. She must live well in China and be a famous lady. She should not be like this, the embarrassment. Logically speaking, such a request is very simple. As long as she no longer has anything to do with Ji Yunrui and others, Lily does not believe that she can be involved in scandals again and end up unable to stay in China, but she can vaguely feel that if she just Lily Zhang was very unwilling to do this. The higher her mental power, the more deeply she could figure out the original owner's requirements. She even felt at this moment that she could faintly feel the complexity in Lily Jiang's heart. She was unwilling to give up her feelings to others. After losing Ji Yunrui, she realized how good it was to be loved by someone. After losing Ji Yunrui's meticulous care, Lily Zhang began to regret it. She pursued Liu Yanan before, maybe she's just a little unwilling to let go. She's not willing to let go that he didn't fall in love with her. She's not willing to let go of her unrequited love for more than 10 years. It's not Lu Yanan who she can't let go of. She probably just can't let go of her feelings for Lu Yanan over the past 10 years. Just giving. It's like a gambler who loses money at the beginning. If she wants to get out again, she always wants to get back what she lost. Unfortunately, Lu Yanan never gave her a reason for responding, so she was stuck in the mud and became more and more out of control. But delayed her discovery of what she really wanted deep down in her heart. By the time Lily Zhang understood who she was most suitable to be with, Ji Yunrui had already turned around and left. He had found the person he really liked. For Lily Zhang, she was too ignorant to understand her true feelings at first. When she understood her true feelings, the person she thought she really liked told her that it was just a mistake before and that he had already found her. True love. This made Lily Zhang feel a little unwilling, especially because Lu Yanan, who she couldn't get, also fell in love with Tang Engzi. This was what made her finally make the determination to separate Ji Yunrui and Tang Engzi's relationship. Unfortunately, she failed in the end and ended up failing. Such a pitiful end. Emotional things are the easiest to make people feel sweet, but they are also easy to hurt. Especially after Lily became Lily Zhang, she seemed to be able to understand the pain in Lily Jiang's heart, so she felt a little sympathetic to the original owner. It was a little late for her to come over now. Although Ji Yunrui still liked her, he had already met Tang Engzi, and the two even lived together by accident. Although Ji Yunrui thought that Tang Engzi she was just his nanny at the moment, but he was obviously different towards Tang Engzi. He allowed Tang Engzi to quarrel with him, and he even took care of her personally when Tang Engzi was sick. It was this kind of inadvertent thoughtfulness and kindness that made Tang Engzi slowly fell in love with him. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Wan Erwr. Chapter 307. Tonight, Ji Yunrui originally made an appointment with Lily Zhang for dinner, but Lily Zhang learned that Lu Yanan had just returned from abroad, and happily made an appointment with Lu Yanan. It was supposed to be a candlelight dinner for the two of them, but in the end not only Lu Yanan was included, but even Tang Engzi. They all followed him together without knowing what was going on. Lily Zhang is a well-known lady in China. She is always the focus of everyone's attention wherever she goes. In addition, Lu Yanan is the Xiaodong of the Lu group. In addition, Ji Yunrui has been in the entertainment industry for many years and has been singing. The famous talent and singer were selected, so when the three of them appeared, although there was Tang Engzi in the mix, they still attracted the attention of reporters. Because she wanted to confess to Lu Yanan over wine but was told by Lu Yanan that she was just his sister, Zhang Lily was so excited that she said many hurtful words to Ji Yunrui. Ji Yunrui was so angry that he pulled Tang Engzi in front of everyone and announced that she was his girlfriend. In this case, it's okay that the two people were noisy before, but at least the window paper in the middle has not been broken. Once they have the status of a boyfriend and girlfriend, Ji Yunrui and Tang Engzi are different. On weekdays, the two of them, although they were still noisy, there was a bit more tacit understanding and intimacy between the lovers. It was not that Lily Zhang didn't regret it when she saw it at the beginning, but she was arrogant and couldn't lower her head. Later, she had to turn a blind eye. Watching these two people make lies come true, it was already too late when they finally understood their own hearts. Lily sighed and straightened out the thoughts in her mind. After Ji Yunrui announced that Tang Engzi was his girlfriend tonight, Lu Yanan's face looked very ugly at that time. He should be similar to Lily Zhang. The women who have been around Lu Yanan since she was a child know nothing about the world. He was already overwhelmed by the girl's pampering. So for a while, he didn't realize his true heart, but he felt a little depressed that a girl like Tang Engzi, who was interesting and even made him a little excited, suddenly became his brother's girlfriend. When he saw Lily Zhang again, Lu Yanan instinctively he was very unhappy with her, so after thinking Lily Zhang was asleep, he drove her home and went back by himself without caring about her. Such a man who was indifferent to other women later took care of Tang Engzi and gently comforted her when she needed it. When Lily thought about these things in the plot, she felt a little unworthy of the original owner. Tonight, the original owner had trouble confessing her love. As a result, Ji Yunrui, who had always loved and cared for her, ignored her for the first time and drove Tang Engzi away directly. Feeling uncomfortable and embarrassed, Lily Zhang drank a lot of wine. Even though Lily woke up after a while, her head was still a little swollen and painful. This was the sequelae of a hangover. In addition, Lu Yanan ignored her after sending her back, so she might have caught a cold while lying on the sofa. The winter in Kyoto is very cold, and there are still snowflakes falling outside. There was no heating in the room, and even though the original owner was wearing a thick coat, he still felt a little cold after falling asleep. A feeling of nausea came from his stomach, which made Lily get up, turn on the light, and go to the toilet to vomit. The room was very desolate. Lily had just vomited a few times and had just taken a cup to rinse her mouth when the cell phone rang outside. Before she could come out of the bathroom, the ringing of the cell phone stopped again. Lily guessed it was Ji Yunrui. The call came. Although she felt a sense of joy in her body, Lily did not call back. Instead, after taking a comfortable hot bath, she put on her pajamas, dried her hair and went to bed. The original owner was still a little unwilling to accept that Ji Yunrui finally fell in love with Tang Engzi, but Lily was still a little entangled at the moment. She really snatched Ji Yunrui back. If the relationship between the two gets better in the future, they will inevitably get married. If it is in that case, without Li Yangzi to help her, how could she avoid Ji Yunrui's approach? Not every time her luck was as good as in previous missions. When she met Lin Jiaoyang, he would not touch her even if he was married. After tossing and turning all night long and unable to fall asleep, Lily simply got up and started practicing star exercise. After a whole night, she just did a set of movements, but she was so tired that she broke into a cold sweat. If Lily hadn't dared to stop in the middle, I'm afraid she couldn't hold it any longer and collapsed on the ground. Before she could rest for a while, the doorbell outside suddenly rang. It was still dark at the moment, but luckily Lily Zhang lived in a high-end residential area, and each building was just a single household, otherwise she would have been scolded for making such a noise. Lily stood up and moved to open the door. Ji Yunrui looked a little depressed outside the door. When he saw Lily open the door directly, he first breathed a sigh of relief, and then gritted his teeth. You opened the door without even looking at who is outside. Lily, what are you thinking about? Zhang Yunrui scolded, but when he saw Lily sweating profusely, he thought she was feeling uncomfortable somewhere. That's why he was like this, and there was an anxious look in his eyes. After last night, I heard from Yan Nan that you were drunk. Don't you know what kind of body you are in? You still drink so much wine, he muttered in his mouth. He looked up, as if he wanted to reach out to lift Lily up and carry her into the house, but as soon as he stretched out his hand, he stopped again, with a wry smile on his face. He hesitated and took Lily's arm and lifted it to his own arm, so that she could. He half reclined on the sofa. What are you doing here? Miss Tang, does she know you are coming? Lily could hardly control herself from saying this, and Ji Yunrui fell silent for a moment. He just turned 26 this year. The main reason why he has managed to reach such a high level in the entertainment industry is because of his talent, the special status of the Ji family, and the support of Lu Yanan. His own outstanding conditions are also the main reason. This will the gentle young man rolled up his sleeves and looked ready to cook, which immediately made Lily's heart soften. Why should I let her know? She is not mine. Ji Yunrui lowered his eyelids and touched Lily's head. It didn't feel hot before. He whispered softly, go and take a hot bath in the bathroom. Where is it? Are you feeling uncomfortable? What do you want to eat? Lily shook her head, an inexplicable feeling of sadness welling up in her heart. She almost instinctively leaned on Ji Yunrui. Habits are such a terrible thing. She hesitated for a moment. She was indeed sore and uncomfortable at the moment. In addition, she had just been sweating from practicing physical skills, so she really wanted to take a bath now, so she was not polite to Ji Yunrui. Nodded. He immediately turned around and went into the room to get some clothes and then went to the bathroom. Ji Yunrui was stunned for a moment. His brows wrinkled, and his eyes showed a thoughtful look. When Lily left the bathroom, Ji Yunrui was holding a bowl of still smoking ginger soup in his hand. He lowered his head so that the expression on his face could not be seen clearly. When he saw that Lily's hair was still dripping with water, he handed the ginger soup to Lily's hand. He picked up the handkerchief and wiped her hair with a familiarity. He had done this kind of thing before, and Lily immediately he even forgot to resist. When he came back to his senses and felt a little embarrassed, Ji Yunrui had already said as if nothing was wrong. "I had a bad attitude yesterday. Don't take it to heart. If anything happens in the future, you can also come to me." Every time the two of them had an argument, it was Ji Yunrui who always came to coax Lily Zhang. Now Lily, hearing his apology again, she felt a little pain in her heart for no reason. Even when Lily Zhang had been pursuing Lu Yanan before, she still valued Ji Yunrui very much. She now felt a sense of conflict. "I don't want to let go of Ji Yunrui's tenderness, but I can think of the happiness he had with Tang Engzi in the plot. This is something he has never gotten from Lily Zhang." Judging from the relationship between the two of them who grew up together, Lily Zhang wants to see Ji Yunrui happy. These conflicting feelings should all come from the original owner. Lily frowned slightly. The original owner herself was a little undecided, which really made her feel a little embarrassed. "This has nothing to do with you. In fact, Miss Tang is also a good girl. I am happy for you that you can be with her if the task can be completed without destroying the relationship between Ji Yunrui and Tang Engzi. Lily doesn't want to. Instead of causing trouble, Lily Zhang just couldn't let go of Ji Yunrui's kindness to her in the past, and thought that she had let down and missed out on a relationship. But in fact, what she really liked, she might not even be able to figure it out herself. When Ji Yunrui heard Lily's words, a look of astonishment flashed in his eyes. He looked at Lily several times with an inquiring gaze, and then he handed over the ginger soup in his hand and said expressionlessly, "I know, you take good care of yourself first and don't let me worry, okay?" Lily nodded and saw Ji Yunrui's pursed lips and stopped talking. Ji Yunrui didn't call Lily for several days in a row, as if he had given up on Lily. However, Lily had received the plot and knew that Ji Yunrui and Tang Engzi had just developed into friends at this time, and they were not like this. It was about to enter the period when lovers were still young, and at this moment, Ji Yunrui's new album was about to be released. His agency called him, hoping that he could help promote it for him. Although the Zhang family is slightly inferior to the Lu family and the Ji family in terms of financial resources and reputation, Lily Zhang owns more than 30% of the shares of a television station in her own name. She is the largest shareholder of this well-known television station. Lily Zhang, although he is young, he is not an ignorant idiot. Jiang's father served in the government in his early years and his status was not low. He saved his family fortune for half his life until he was transferred to work in the British Embassy 7 years ago. These families Jianyi came together to buy 15% of the shares of the current TV station and gave it to Lily Jiang's daughter as a gift for her 15th birthday. In fact, Lily Jiang's life is not like that of some rich girls who only need to dress up all day long. She also has her own job every day. Since high school, Lily Zhang has been working part-time and studying until now. The stock has gone up again and again, and she has gone from being discriminated against to now being in power. Many stars and singers usually have to appear on programs when new movies are released or records are sold, and they need to be promoted through TV stations. The reason why Ji Yun-rui became so popular after entering the entertainment industry was that Lily Zhang also helped him a lot busy. To be continued. P.S. Sorry for being half an hour late today. To explain, I had a cold and fever about 10 days ago, and then my coding efficiency became slower. Originally, I had to code it one day in advance for the next day, so it would be more punctual to upload it in advance, unless sometimes I forget to click publish. But last night I originally wanted to stay up late and finish coding, but after being locked up in the dark room for 5,000 words, I felt like falling asleep after taking medicine. Then I thought I could finish coding this morning. It turns out I'm still too late. I don't want to say such things, it feels like I'm pretending to be pitiful, although everyone knows that I am a weak and helpless little white flower that is elegantly born. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 308. At this time, Ji Yun-rui's agency called her and hoped that she could temporarily arrange an announcement program. Lily agreed without thinking. Originally, this matter was just a piece of cake. It is not that such a situation has never happened before. After all, Ji Yun-rui nowadays, his reputation is very famous. He can appear on Lily Jiang's TV station, which can be regarded as a disguised way to increase the TV station's ratings. Therefore, Lily has no reason to refuse, whether in public or private. Who would have expected that after seeing the strip? In addition to Ji Yun-rui, Tang Engzi also came with him. Engzi is here to deliver food. Ji Yun-rui glanced at Lily cautiously and explained while glaring at the manager, "We may take some photos here later for promotion, Lily, is that okay?" Lily didn't show it on her face, but she was a little unhappy in her heart. Ji Yun-rui's agency should have known that Ji Yun-rui had a difficult relationship with Lily Zhang in the past, so they didn't tell her in advance that Tang Engzi would also come, because they were afraid that Lily would disagree with it. Taking pictures everywhere, they asked her to come directly. In front of everyone, they knew that Lily could not refuse, so they resorted to such methods. Lily could understand such a hype method. After all, Tang Engzi was a strong and beautiful female orphan. Ji Yun-rui and being together with her would greatly help Ji Yun-rui's image, but Lily felt a little uncomfortable. Seeing Ji Yun-rui's smiling face, she frowned for a long time before nodding. "Thank you very much, Lily. When Yun-rui's new album is released, I will ask him to give you a signed CD." Ji Yun-rui's manager saw Lily nodded, with a happy smile on his face, and greeted him. People changed clothes for Ji Yun-rui. One side just got the camera ready. Lily sneered twice. Ji Yun-rui's signature album is a good thing for others. But whenever Ji Yun-rui releases an album, he will definitely give her one. This is not a rare thing for her, but Ji Yun-rui gestures at her, clasping his hands together as if begging her, and then Lily swallowed the words of rejection that came to her lips. Tang Engzi also carried the food box and carefully stood next to Lily, standing on tiptoes to look at the figure in the center of the spotlight. She complained in disgust, "She's so pretty, she was cute, with a pair of big, smart eyes that seemed to be able to talk. Her slanted ponytail was tied up and tilted to the side, giving her a sense of pure and lovely girlishness. It was completely different from Lily Zhang, who always dressed up elegantly and steadily. When the two of them stood together, even though Tang Engzi was not much different in age from Lily, she seemed to have a more lively and relaxed temperament than Lily. Lily just smiled and didn't answer. Tang Engzi bit her lip. Just when he was about to say something else, a figure from the other end burst in fiercely, "Brother Ji! Brother Ji, I borrowed your hat." Lily only felt someone rushing towards her, and instinctively stepped aside. Tang Engzi was standing next to her just now, and her reaction was not as fast as Lily's. She was suddenly bumped into by this person, her body tilted, and she moved toward her. Lily fell over, the food in her hands flew up into the air, and the soup and water inside spilled out. Lily only felt a mist in front of her eyes, and then a burning pain came from her head and face. She hasn't been practicing physical skills for a long time. She has already reacted with her thoughts at this moment, but her body's speed cannot keep up with her instinctive reaction. In addition, Tang Engzi is standing very close to her. At this moment, Lily just wants to hide. She couldn't hide, and when she reacted, she only heard everyone's exclamations and Tang Engzi's scream, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, please forgive me, Miss Zhang." Following Tang Engzi's words, Lily only felt that she was being hugged by someone, and her hair seemed to be entangled with something. After Tang Engzi screamed, Lily only felt as if her scalp was about to be pulled off. Tang Engzi took a few cry-sounding apologies sounded. "I'm sorry about my hair, Miss Zhang. Your hair got tangled in my necklace. I didn't mean to do it. Are you okay?" Lily's nose only smelled the smell of cooking. The mixed smell made her not only feel no appetite at all, but also felt like vomiting came to her heart. Not only did her face feel hot, it was so hot that there seemed to be soup in my eyes, and I couldn't open my eyelids at all. "Li Minglei. You idiot, you big idiot, look what good things you have done," Tang Engzi yelled angrily, while wiping her hands on Lily's face messily. Her movements were not gentle. The rubbing made Lily's scalded face even more painful. Even if Lily couldn't see her own appearance at this moment, she knew that she must be in a very embarrassed state. The voice of Tang Engzi's words just now rang in her ears, making it noisy. Her ears were ringing. Lily suppressed the anger in her heart, and cautiously checked around with her feet. When no obstacles were found, she squatted down and said calmly, "Bring me the wet handkerchief." "I'm sorry, Miss Zhang. I didn't mean it. It's all Li Minglei's fault. He rushed in a panic and bumped into me. I didn't mean it." "I'm sorry, Miss Zhang." Tang Engzi looked panicked. At this moment, Lily didn't open her eyes. As you can imagine, there was a cry in her voice as she gritted her teeth and cursed, "Li Minglei, you are dead." "Are you okay?" a gentle male voice rang out, and Lily's body stiffened instinctively. Before she could respond, she heard Tang Engzi say embarrassedly, "Mr. Lu Yanan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." "It doesn't matter, Lily won't blame you. You go see your friends first and leave this to me." When Lu Yanan treats women, he is always gentle and full of gentlemanly demeanor, but only when he treats Lily. Although he seemed to be polite on the surface, he was actually cold but also a little distant. Although Lily knew that Lu Yanan didn't like her, she heard him asking if there was anything wrong with the other person. When the first person asked Tang Engzi, she didn't know if it was because of the original owner. Affected, she still felt an involuntary chill in her heart. "Yan Nan, are Lily feeling better?" There was chaos in the studio, and Ji Yunrui's voice also rang out. Lily herself didn't carry her purse with her because of her work, so she didn't have any paper on hand at the moment. Everyone asked her if she was okay so many times, but no one could think of giving her some paper to clean up her own. Fortunately, the person holding the handkerchief came over quickly. Lily endured the pain and wiped her eyes first. The food was not freshly cooked, but because it was placed in the thermal box, it was still very hot. Her eyelids were now hot. There is some redness, swelling and heat, coupled with Tang Engzi's anxious and rude actions just now. The skin is broken in some places, but it should not be serious, but I don't know if it will become inflamed. Such injuries are not serious. At most, they will cause some suffering. If you pursue the matter, it will appear that you are making a fuss. If you don't pursue it, you will have to suffer the consequences of being dumb." People who originally sympathized with Lily could not help but sympathize with her after seeing that Lily was fine and seeing Tang Engzi's panicked look with her hands clasped together in begging. "Miss Zhang." The usual carefree smile on Tang Engzi's face disappeared, and she looked a little cautious. Lu Yanan glanced at her from time to time, with a look of distress in his eyes. "I'm sorry, Miss Zhang." Seeing that Lily ignored her, Tang Engzi couldn't help but bowed 90 degrees again, nodded and bowed desperately, and kept praying with his hands. Xiaolei didn't mean it. He has only been Ji Yunrui's assistant for 2 years. Oh my god, I have just started working, so I have offended something, please forgive me, Miss Zhang. The flattering moves Ji Yunrui did just now must have been learned from her, and an unknown fire surged into his heart. Lily endured the irritation in her heart and picked up the food on her head. Even though no one in the studio was laughing at her, Lily could see the embarrassment in other people's eyes. Excuse me for a moment. Lily stood up and was about to go to the bathroom to clean up. She was wearing a silk transparent shirt. Because the temperature in the studio was too high, she was not wearing a coat. After the clothes got wet, they clung to her body. Not only were they very uncomfortable, but the color of the underwear underneath was looming. Many people looked at her, which made Lily's face even more ugly. I'm sorry, Miss Zhang. Xiaoli, I didn't mean it. I apologize to you on his behalf. Tang Engzi felt a little uneasy when she saw Lily didn't say a word. Li Minglei had been her neighbor and good friend for many years, and it was this friend who had caused the accident. She was almost desperate and met Ji Yunrui by chance, but Tang Engzi was not really angry with Li Minglei, but quickly forgave him. In the plot, this person is a rogue liar who often gets into trouble, but he is very loyal and loves to stand up for Tang Engzi. Because of Tang Engzi's relationship, he became Ji Yunrui's assistant. When Ji Yunrui met Zhang Bei, he did something about it. A lot of provocations, and even the words that Lily Zhang wanted to destroy the relationship between Ji Yunrui and Tang Engzi and was a third party came out of his mouth. Many fans of Ji Yunrui didn't know that Ji Yunrui told her that he and Tang Engzi were boyfriend and girlfriend in a fit of anger, and everyone believed it, which made Lily Zhang infamous. Now that I heard the name Li Minglei again, for Tang Engzi, this was a childhood friend and only relative who could be forgiven even if he betrayed her and almost made her desperate. But for Lily, Li Minglei really made her unable to give birth. A little bit of goodwill. Is it useful for you to apologize on his behalf? And Miss Tang, I have to go to the bathroom to clean myself up, can you stop stopping me? Lily couldn't bear it anymore. Once she took a step forward, Tang Engzi clasped her hands and begged her, mouthing Li kept saying apologies and blocked Lily's way in disguise. To be continued. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Wan Erwr. Chapter 309. Li Minglei, who was hiding behind Ji Yunrui, suddenly turned ugly when he heard Lily scolding Tang Engzi. He stood up and said, one person is responsible for each person's work. This matter has nothing to do with Engzi. If you want to be mean, just come at me and scold me. What's Engzi? What's more, I don't think you have anything wrong with you. She can walk and scold you. Engzi doesn't need to apologize to her. Who asked her to stand next to you? Li Minglei said with an arrogant look. Come. Tang Engzi glared at him bitterly, her face turned red. Shut up. You are dead, Li Minglei, see how I deal with you when I get back. Miss Zhang, don't be as knowledgeable as him. Okay Lily, this matter has nothing to do with Engzi. You go and clean yourself up first. At the critical moment, Lu Yanan stepped forward. After saying this, Tang Engzi looked at him gratefully. Ji Yunrui curled his lips and glanced at Tang Engzi hatefully, always so stupid and useless. Although he said disgusting words, the gentleness in his eyes was irresistible. Tang Engzi was always a simple and straightforward girl. When she heard Ji Yunrui's words, she was used to bickering with him, so she quickly turned around and said, Huh, you're stupid. You're useless, if you say I'm stupid again, you're dead. I just said you are stupid, stupid, stupid as hell. Ji Yunrui couldn't help but retorted. He always tried to show his mature and steady side in front of Lily Zhang, but only in front of Tang Engzi would he reveal his childish and innocent side. Naturally, the two of them were laughing and joking together, having long forgotten the episode that had just happened. Ji Yunrui's manager made a gesture, and the camera turned back on, focusing on the two people who were laughing happily in the venue. People. The whole scene of the two of them playing intimately was photographed. Lily sneered twice. Then he twisted his greasy hair. Turn around and head to the bathroom. In the bathroom, she took care of herself briefly and asked someone to buy her shampoo and new clothes. After Lily took a shower and dried her hair, Ji Yunrui's phone call came. Lily, are you feeling better? Ji Yunrui's voice was filled with guilt and guilt. He didn't notice when Lily left just now. This had never happened before. In the past, his eyes only fell on Zhang. On Lily. But since he met Tang Engzi, he couldn't control his temper and wanted to quarrel with her. It seemed that only that kind of himself could be relaxed and happy, so for the first time he forgot about Lily Zhang. It's okay, Lily replied lightly. Ji Yunrui on the other end seemed to feel more guilty because his voice softened. I'm sorry Lily, Tang Engzi has always been so clumsy, even at home. She often gets into trouble. Everyone always scolds her for having a stupid brain. All she wants to do is cause trouble all day long. Speaking of Tang Engzi, Ji Yunrui started to talk as if he was eloquent. Lily was a little bored when she heard what sounded like disgust but was actually an excuse for Tang Engzi. Is there anything else? I'm sorry Lily, are you angry with me? Ji Yunrui seemed to have come to his senses. Just when he was about to say something, someone called him on the other end. Please, let me say a few words. I want to apologize to Miss Zhang. You bastard, don't stop me, I hate you. There was a burst of noisy sounds next. After a long time, Ji Yunrui seemed to have overtaken Tang Engzi and panted, someone asked me to start work. I will call you next time. Bye. There was a beeping sound from the phone. In the past, Ji Yunrui would never hang up the phone in advance before Lily Zhang hung up, but now he hung up early. From this, it can be seen that Ji Yunrui was no longer the Ji Yunrui who loved Lily Zhang wholeheartedly. Lily suddenly felt a little bored with this kind of romantic relationship. The original owner was not an embroidered pillow. She herself was a graduate of a prestigious university. It can be seen from the fact that she has become a major shareholder of a TV station after flipping a few stocks, that she is actually talented and capable, but she was trapped because of these loves, and finally ended up in such a miserable end. Originally, Lily didn't want to get involved in the feelings of these people, but she didn't want to get involved in other people's love, but people always moved in front of her. Some people may be born with the wrong relationship. In short, she disliked Tang Engzi very much. Originally, she didn't like Tang Engzi very much. She wanted to take this step for Lily Zhang. Although she was not prepared to be a mistress, she wanted to destroy Ji Yunrui's feelings. The headlines came out in the newspaper the next day, and it turned out to be the scene of Ji Yunrui and Tang Engzi having a fight on the set. As soon as Lily entered the office, she saw the newspaper placed on her clean desk. The photographer captured the angle very well, and the male and female protagonists on the newspaper were again the handsome man and the playful and cute woman are naturally an eye-catching picture. It was calm in the morning, but unexpectedly in the afternoon, Lily's assistant, a young man named Wang, came in with a timid look on his face. Mr. Zhang, a reporter outside called and wanted to interview you. No, Lily refused flatly. She was not a star, and she did not need to be exposed to the spotlight. What's more, Lily Zhang had a mountain of work every day. After inheriting her body, she would also inherit her work. Lily, I am so busy every day that I have no time to answer these interviews. But, this news seems to be related to Mr. Zhang. Xiao Wang forced a smile twice, and after saying this, he took out the hand behind his back. He was holding a newspaper in his hand. He held it in both hands and handed it to Lily. Lily only glanced at it and stood up with a cold face. The newspaper headlines read, "Former socialite, today defeated." There was a photo of her looking miserable with food on her head, and Lily felt a surge of anger in her heart. What's going on? Lily looked at the newspaper with an expressionless face. She failed to fight for Ji Yunrui, but in the end, she used a cunning trick to frame Ji Yunrui's current girlfriend Tang Engzi, but evil people will eventually be punished. No consequences, etc. This scene is exactly the same as the situation before Lily Zhang was forced to go abroad. The matter was found out. It was an assistant next to Ji Yunrui who was ignorant and made reporters talk nonsense, so the tabloids wrote a lot of nonsense today. The assistant had obviously guessed that He would ask this question, so he had already investigated it. The clear things were said. This matter is not a secret. Several entertainment reporters heard Li Minglai's nonsense. Lily's TV station also had a cooperative relationship with these reporters, so they easily asked about it. Mr. Zhang, do you want to talk to Ji Yunrui about this? Without saying a word, Lily made a gesture to the assistant. What do you tell him? Call the police directly and report that Li Minglai, the assistant next to Ji Yunrui, deliberately distorted the facts to extort money and ruin my reputation. As soon as the assistant heard this, cold sweat broke out on his back. Ji Yunrui's side. What's more, Li Minglai didn't extort money at all. If Lily really called the police like this, regardless of whether Li Minglai really extorted money, it would be embarrassing. Ji Yunrui, Lily Zhang, and Ji Yunrui have always had a good relationship. In the plot, even if she wanted to get Ji Yunrui, she only made some small moves. There was no real ruthless and shameless move. In the end, she ended up with a bad reputation. He said that he was forced to leave the country in embarrassment. I said he did. If you don't believe me, let the police investigate. Lily glared at the assistant. The assistant with a tangled face could see that she was in a bad mood, so she quickly responded and went out. Due to Lily's different status and the fact that she is on the cusp of the storm, Ji Yunrui is very popular now. As long as his name is associated with him, it will almost always make the headlines. In the past, the ambiguous relationship between Ji Yunrui and Lily Zhang has actually been reported by entertainment reporters for a long time. They were already chasing after rumors, but Tang Engzi appeared later. Now there is a drama about two women fighting for a man, which makes everyone more enthusiastic about this matter. Almost at the moment Lily called the police, someone after receiving the news, Li Minglai's old background was soon revealed. He owes a lot of debts to loan sharks, borrowed friends' ID cards to defraud credit cards, and other bad records have been exposed. Even the friendship between Tang Engzi and Li Minglai, who grew up together, has fans who love Ji Yunrui and think this will not happen. It will be a story about Tang Engzi and Li Minglai working together to deceive idols. For several days in a row, Li Minglai's scandal has been almost in the newspapers. People who are not celebrities are more likely to be in the newspapers in the past 2 days than many celebrities and idols. Because Ji Yunrui took Li Minglai by his side for Tang Engzi's sake, which affected him. Yi Hao's originally very good image was affected. After the incident, Lily's so-called drama about two women competing for a man in the newspaper was naturally suppressed because of Li Minglai's fame. Li Minglai was directly detained by the police. He was just talking nonsense that day just to vent his anger for Tang Engzi. He typically treated Tang Engzi as one of his own family members. He could bully Tang Engzi, but others must not bully her. Lily refused to give up that day. Forgiving Tang Engzi made Li Minglai very resentful, so he deliberately talked nonsense. He didn't know that Tang Engzi and Ji Yunrui were just pretending to be a couple at this time. After becoming Ji Yunrui's assistant, he often heard others say that Ji Yunrui and Zhang there was a scandal between Lily, so naturally he felt even more disgusted with Lily. He always said and did things without considering the consequences. After talking about this, he didn't realize he was a little scared until he was arrested and taken to the police station. Engzi, you must help me, I don't want to go to jail. Li Minglai has been living in panic since the accident. He was not very courageous at first, he just acted impulsively. Now that something happened, he felt a little nervous. He regretted it, so when Tang Engzi came to bring him food to see him, he cried and begged Tang Engzi for help. You know, I will never take reporters' money to talk nonsense. To be continued. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Wan Erwr. Chapter 310. Looking at Li Minglei, who had just been arrested by the police for 2 days, Tang Engzi was heartbroken. She has always been a kind and straightforward girl. She almost only has a bright side and is unwilling to believe in the darkness of human nature. Because of this, from childhood to she was almost always fooled by Li Minglei's poor acting skills, but she still fell for it every time. But because of her carefree personality and sometimes rude appearance, coupled with her beautiful face, even if she sometimes behaves a little out of the ordinary, she is just cute in the eyes of others. Except for the death of her parents, she has almost no personality. He had encountered setbacks, so he naturally believed in the beauty of human nature. When Li Minglei said that he did not accept money from reporters, Tang Engzi hesitated for a moment and quickly believed it. If there is a misunderstanding about this matter, I will make it clear to Miss Zhang. I hope she will not embarrass you again. With Tang Engzi's promise, a big stone in Li Minglei's heart fell to the ground. Tang Engzi has always been a man of his word, so he dialed Ji Yunrui's phone directly after leaving the police station. He originally wanted to ask him for Lily's phone number, but Tang Engzi was so weird that he didn't want to mention Lily in front of Ji Yunrui name, so she hung up quickly after the call was dialed, and called Lu Yanan instead. Lily had been busy all morning, and when her lunch was placed on her desk before she could eat it, as soon as she put down the pen in her hand to sign, Lu Yanan led Tang Engzi and barged in. Lily Zhang, how long are you going to make trouble? Lu Yanan's expression was very stern. He was wearing a crisp white suit today and casual trousers of the same color. He looked elegant and charming. Tang Engzi was almost dragged in by him. Still panting now. She wore a pair of high-heeled boots and a down jacket on her upper body. The hat on her head was pulled down so low that it almost covered her eyes. She wore a pleated skirt, which was pulled down to almost cover half of her small face. When she was wearing a scarf, Tang Engzi's face turned blue with cold was revealed. Who let you in? Lily's originally good mood suddenly turned gloomy. He directly pressed the call line connected to the assistant outside. Do you have an appointment? I'm sorry, Mr. Zhang. Assistant Xiao Wang's somewhat embarrassed voice sounded. Lily cut off the call before he finished speaking, preparing to settle the score with him later. When Lu Yanan heard this, he couldn't help but sneered. Lily Zhang, when do I need to make an appointment to see you? His handsome face was gloomy, and his expression looked very serious. After saying it, Lily felt an indescribable sadness welling up in her heart. In the plot, Lily Zhang is always free and waiting for Lu Yanan's summons. Lily Zhang usually had to make an appointment in advance if she wanted to see him, but now she just did what Lily Zhang should have done. Lu Yanan felt that it was all a fuss. It wasn't necessary before, but no matter who comes in the future, they need to make an appointment. Lily took 2 deep breaths. As soon as she said these words, Tang Engzi bowed 90 degrees to Lily. Miss Zhang, if I have offended you somewhere, I am willing to atone for it, but please don't torture my friend again, he is innocent. Song Engzi had a stubborn look on her face, her small lips were pursed tightly, and her big and bright eyes showed an unyielding brilliance. In Lu Yanan's eyes, that kind of brilliance was no less impressive than the women he had dated before. There is even something more attractive to him than them. There was unabashed admiration and tenderness in his eyes, and he subconsciously squeezed the little hand in his hand. Seeing Tang Engzi's face turning red and about to withdraw his hand, Lu Yanan subconsciously tightened his grip. Lily first reached out and fiddled with the mouse, opened her laptop's camera, and pointed it at Lu Yanan and Tang Engzi, then she knocked on the table. "Is there anything else? If you two are here to perform, I have already seen it." Tang Engzi seemed to have come back to her senses, and glared at Lu Yanan. Not only did her charming appearance not seem to have any lethality, but it actually made Lu Yanan laugh softly, which made Tang Engzi's cheeks turn red. He lowered his head, then raised his head again after a long while. "Miss Zhang, I hope you let my friend go. He is innocent. If he has offended Miss Guo Zhang in any way, please, sir, have enough money and the Prime Minister's stomach to support him and let him go." Lily knew what she was referring to, but deliberately pretended not to understand what Tang Engzi said, and raised her eyebrows. "Who offended me?" "Xiao Lei, Li Minglei." Tang Engzi couldn't help but feel anxious when she heard Lily say this. He said a few bad things about Miss Zhang to the media before. Miss Zhang called the police and had him arrested. Did Miss Zhang forget? Oh, it turned out to be him. Since he said bad things about me, what's wrong with me calling the police? Lily's face suddenly turned cold, and she pointed to the door and said, "I don't care how the police handle things, but please don't do it casually in the future." Breaking in again, this time for the sake of Uncle Lu and Aunt Lu, "Forget it. If it happens again next time, I will call the security directly. If the eldest young master of the Lu family is kicked out, there will definitely be a lot of people. I think the scene is very exciting." Lu Yanan's face was livid, and he stared at Lily coldly for a long time, but seeing that her expression showed no sign of gentleness at all, he glanced at Lily in disbelief, pulled Tang Engzi with a very ugly expression, and shouted softly, "Let's go. Lily Zhang, if you do this, you will lose two friends." After saying these harsh words, Lu Yanan pulled Tang Engzi, who was still unwilling to stay, and left quickly without looking back. As soon as the two people left, Lily directly dialed the phone number in the monitoring room, cut out the photos of Lu Yanan and Tang Engzi coming in and out together, and send them to the newspaper office we work with on weekdays. Lily Zhang was ruined by this group of people and became a sinister and vicious woman. Lu Yanan and Ji Yunrui, who had grown up with her, both said they were very disappointed in her. Now Lily wants to see if Tang Engzi herself is involved in scandals. Will Lily Jiang's two childhood friends, one loved by her and the other a man who claims to love her, still be as unhesitating as before? He thought Tang Engzi was sinister and looked extremely disappointed with her. He called the assistant in and gave him a lesson. The assistant named Xiao Wang still looked aggrieved. It was really because the original owner liked Lu Yanan too much in the past. He once told him that if Lu Yanan came to find him, there would be no need to communicate, but the current situation it was different. After Lily told her assistant that she would handle such things by herself in the future, when she got off work in the evening, Lily received a call from the G family. It was from MRSG herself. She invited Lily to have dinner at the G family. Lily only had a second thought in her mind, and quickly agreed. There are only 3 members of the G family. Except for Ji Yunrui, who has left home, only Ji's father and MRSG are at home on weekdays. Today, except for the 2 couples from the Ji family, even Ji Yunrui has brought Tang Engzi back. Lily car happened to meet Ji Yunrui's sports car also parked outside the gate of Ji's house. After seeing Lily, Tang Engzi jumped out of the car in a hurry. "Miss Zhang, wait a moment." She pushed Ji Yunrui, who had been standing still since seeing Lily, to the side, and said coquettishly, "Go away, don't block me." "Miss Zhang, can you, about my friend?" Ji Yunrui stood aside, staring at Lily with a guilty conscience. He had just come to his senses after being pushed by Tang Engzi, and now reached out and hit Tang Engzi on the head. "Lily has just arrived, can you not mention anything about your friend without opening your mouth? It hurts, Tang Engzi couldn't help but rub his head and glared at Ji Yunrui. Do you believe I'll hit you too? Ji Yunrui was initially worried that Lily wouldn't dare to mess around with him, but when he saw Tang Engzi's bulging face like a bun, and her unyielding look, he couldn't help but knock Tang Engzi on the head again. In fact, he didn't use much strength at this time, but when he was knocked on the head by Ji Yunrui in front of Lily, Tang Engzi felt a little shameless, not to mention that she and Ji Yunrui were getting along day and night, and she knew that he liked it in his heart. Although Tang Engzi was a little careless, she was not stupid. She could already feel Ji Yunrui's inexplicable attention to Lily. She had already developed some affection for Ji Yunrui. She could still regard it as fun. She was being knocked in front of Lily. Even though Ji Yunrui didn't use any force, Tang Engzi felt a little aggrieved in her heart. She couldn't help but hug Ji Yunrui's head and jumped up and hit her hard. Go up. There was a crisp sound of bang, and Lily felt her forehead jump. Tang Engzi hit the ground and fell to the ground. Ji Yunrui suddenly stretched out his hand to cover his forehead and was speechless in pain. At this moment, there was a sound of breaking, and MRSG happened to see the visitors outside from the surveillance camera at home. She happened to come out and saw the scene through the iron gate, and her face became a little ugly. Tang Engzi's brave move made Lily swallow back what she was planning to say. She suppressed the laughter in her heart and stared at the situation with a serious look. The door of the stopped car was opened, and a middle-aged man with a stern face got out of the car, frowning and staring at Tang Engzi. Yunrui, do you have a headache? MRSG in the courtyard was originally planning to pick up her son in person and give her a surprise, but she didn't expect her surprise to come to fruition. Instead, someone else gave her a surprise. MRSG she only gave birth to a precious only child like Ji Yunrui in her life. She usually looked at her like an eyeball and she couldn't bear to touch a finger, but now she was beaten under her nose. She originally had some feelings for Tang Engzi. I have a good impression. After all, a cute and playful girl like Tang Engzi is generally more popular with the elders than a girl with a restrained and polite appearance. But when MRSG saw Tang Engzi bumping into Ji Yunrui's head, she immediately had a bad impression of her. To be continued. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 311. Ah, it's so embarrassing. Tang Engzi was a little proud at first, her chin raised, but after seeing MRSG coming out, she immediately stuck out her tongue, covered her face, and spread her 10 fingers from between her fingers. Staring at the scene in front of him, he subconsciously hid behind Ji Yunrui. Who are you, and why do you hit our Yunrui? MRSG was so angry that after she opened the door and came out, she saw her son still covering his face, and his face became very gloomy at the moment. The middle-aged man who just got out of the car glanced at Tang Engzi and pointed to the room. If you have anything to say, let's talk in the room first. Lily is still there, so please ask her to come in and sit down. I'm fine, Mom, it doesn't hurt at all. She is Tang Engzi, it's me. Ji Yunrui was hit so hard that his eyebrow bones turned red. He was born with fair skin, and even the slightest mark looked very obvious now. As soon as he said these words, Lily knew that MRSG must be a little unhappy. After all, MRSG felt sorry for her son, but Ji Yunrui was interceding for Tang Engzi. Even if MRSG couldn't bear to blame her son, she would definitely blame her in her heart. To Tang Engzi. Sure enough, MRSG's face darkened, and she reached out and patted Ji Yunrui on the back. You kid, I've seen the entertainment news a long time ago. After saying this, MRSG looked at Lily again, and said to Lily gently, Lily has lost weight. Is it because she has been too busy at work during this period? Although MRSG would call Lily Zhang from time to time on weekdays, as soon as Lily arrived at Ji's house, she met Ji Yunrui, who never liked going home, and she had a vague suspicion in her heart. Now she heard that MRSG when asking, he glanced at Tang Engzi. It's not that I'm too tired from work, I'm just annoyed by some people's nonsense. Fortunately, I've already dealt with this matter. Otherwise, my parents would have felt bad knowing that someone was bullying their daughter who stayed here. And, please don't tell my parents. Lily blocked MRSG's mouth first, and MRSG suddenly looked a little embarrassed. She turned around and glared at her son, and then said sadly, "If you have something to do, come inside. Besides, it's cold outside." Lily responded, and entered the house affectionately holding hands with MRSG. Father G also threw the car keys to the housekeeper and entered the house without looking back. Only Tang Engzi had just made such an unexpected move. At this moment, in embarrassment, she followed Ji Yunrui like a little wife, looking cautious. When changing shoes, because Lily Zhang often came to Ji's house in the past, she was very familiar with every plant and tree here, not to mention the housekeeper who had been serving in Ji's house for decades. She smiled when she saw Lily. A pair of slippers. When it was Tang Engzi's turn, she was dumbfounded. At this moment, MRSG ignored her. This made her feel a little embarrassed. Tang Engzi was originally a rough and sometimes impulsive girl. So she impulsively wrinkled her nose at Ji Yunrui, snorted coldly, took off her shoes, put on a pair of white cotton socks, stepped on the floor, and walked towards Lily and MRSG who were sitting on the sofa. The scene in front of her made MRSG a little shocked. She came from a wealthy family and was always strict in her behavior. She had been friends with people with similar interests for decades. This was the first time she saw a girl do something like this. A heroic move. Everyone couldn't help but focus on Tang Engzi's feet. From the socks, it could be seen that Tang Engzi's life was not very good. A pair of white cotton socks were washed and turned yellow and hard. MRSG, the corner of her mouth twitched, and she began to feel a little suspicious of her son's eyes. Especially when she turned around and saw Lily with an elegant posture, MRSG felt a little dissatisfied. In the past, MRSG felt that Lily Zhang was very cold towards Ji Yunrui, and that the relationship between the two was just Ji Yunrui's unrequited love. When she heard that Ji Yunrui had another girlfriend, MRSG was actually a little relieved. After all, Ji Yunrui had liked Zhang since he was a child. Lily Zhang has always liked the boy from the Lu family. They are all family friends. If there isn't quarrel between the children because of something, the adults will not look good. Ji Yunrui knows that he will not die after changing his gender. At first, MRSG was a little curious about Tang Engzi who could change him. But when she really saw Tang Engzi, she was a little disappointed because of her beating Ji Yunrui. Then she saw that she didn't know any etiquette at all. MRSG's eyes were even colder. Even if Ji Yunrui chooses another well-educated girl, it will be much better than Tang Engzi. Wu Ma, for this. MRSG's eyes fell on Tang Engzi, her gaze was like a sharp sword. She saw Tang Engzi shrinking her toes uneasily. Such an undignified behavior was even more displeasing to MRSG, but Ji Yunrui felt some pity for her. Tang Engzi lost her parents early and lived alone. No one cared about her at all, but she still lived so brightly and lively. This made Ji Yunrui's eyes soften when he looked at Tang Engzi. When he heard MRSG's words, Ji Yunrui thought the one who didn't want to said, "Mom, I have already told you, her name is Tang Engzi." Twice in a row, MRSG originally thought about her son, but Ji Yunrui always stood by Tang Engzi's side. This made MRSG's impression of Tang Engzi even worse. She sneered, and the hand she was holding with Lily was now a little tight. It can be seen that he is very unhappy in his heart. In the plot, when Tang Engzi came to the Ji family for the first time, she used her liveliness and cuteness to make everyone in the Ji family accept her. Especially her positive spirit and cheerful and optimistic personality, she became the favorite of the Ji family. Pistachio, but this time it is obvious that MRSG doesn't like her very much. If Tang Engzi wants to be accepted by the Ji family as smoothly as in the plot, and then be happily together with Ji Yunrui in the future, without the support of the Ji family, this is no easy task. Bring the slippers for Miss Tang, the housekeeper responded, and found a new pair of slippers. After Tang Engzi put them on, she carefully sat down next to MRSG. MRSG's face was with a bit of unfamiliar politeness. He asked directly, "I wonder how old Miss Tang is this year, where is she from, and what school did she graduate from?" Tang Engzi was always an outspoken person. When MRSG asked this question, she naturally said bluntly, "I am 23 years old and from Kyoto. I graduated from Fenghuaji School 4 years ago." At this time, the so-called technical middle school in the plot is equivalent to the second year of high school. Ordinary people graduate from technical school at about 18 years old, which is already a little older. However, Tang Engzi only graduated at the age of 19. The key is that she is just a technical middle school student. MRSG suddenly became confused and asked subconsciously, "Among you?" "My parents passed away in the meantime and I had no money to pay for tuition, so I stopped studying for a year." Tang Engzi shrugged his shoulders, looking indifferent. Seeing this scene, Ji, who had just entered the room, washed his face and changed clothes, looked at it. My father's face turned a little livid again. Then, just as Father Ji was about to speak, Tang Engzi whispered impatiently, "Come here today, Ji Yunrui, didn't you say you wanted to have a good talk with Miss Zhang?" When Bei heard this, she couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth, pretending to be surprised. "Yunrui wants to see me for something. Is it possible that Yunrui is estranged from me now that he has a girlfriend? Why go around such a big deal when you want to see me? Circle, you just need to call me, so why bother working with uncle and aunt?" She had just hinted about Li Minglei to MRSG. Now MRSG's character was definitely too embarrassing to mention it again. Unexpectedly, Tang Engzi was really very direct for her friends, so she opened her mouth and said it. Lily saw MRSG. There was an embarrassed look on his face, and his eyelids drooped, hiding the smile in his eyes. Lily, Li Minglei is talking nonsense. Why do you care about him? Such people have no rules. On the first day of work, he offended an advertiser of mine, and I even started fighting with him. It's okay that Ji Yunrui didn't say this, but when he said this, Ji's father's expression became even more ugly. You are also a graduate of a prestigious university. I asked you to work in a hospital after graduation, but you just wanted to go out and show your face. Now you are so evil. You know all these people, and you still dare to fight with them. You are really promising. That's not it. Xiao Lei is not a bad person. Although he is a bit of a bastard, he is also a bit too hateful. He deceived me into owing a lot of debt last time, and I haven't paid it off yet." Tang Engzi, when she said this, she stuck out her tongue in embarrassment, looking cute, but after she interrupted Ji's father's speech without being polite, Ji's father could not help but look gloomy now, even if he had a good impression of her. It became even more severe, and when he heard that Li Minglei or Tang Engzi had brought him this, Father Ji's expression became even more ugly. "But I don't blame him. I grew up with him. I know there is something wrong with his character, but he can be taught slowly. He is also very pitiful. His father passed away when he was young, and his mother ran away with someone. There is only one grandpa brought him up." Tang Engzi thought about it. She wished that the whole world could like her as a friend. However, Ji's father now had a terrible impression of the so-called Li Minglei, and he heard that he was still a man without a father or a mother. As an orphan, it's no wonder that Tang Engzi has all the problems. As expected, the saying that those who are close to red will be red and those who are close to ink will be black makes sense. "Yunrui, come upstairs. Mom wants to tell you something." MRSG couldn't sit still now and patted Lily's hand. "Lily, please sit down for a while. If you want to eat, Don't be polite to Mother Wu. I called you in the afternoon and found out you were coming over. I had already prepared some of your favorite snacks, so you can fill your stomach first. To be continued.